Hello, hello, hello. I've actually got coffee. Um, oh, we're going to save the world, everyone. Apparently, we're going to save the world. They're doing this thing. Is it COP26? COP26, where everyone was it climate? Is something to do with the climate? I don't know what's happening with the climate. Something happening with the climate? Oh, Hans Moleman wanted me to do this. Um, for as long as I can remember, we've been saving the planet, and look where we are. I don't care because I'm going to be dead soon, sooner than later. Not like, well, hopefully as long as. But the thing is it's all gone. It's too late. It's too late. COP26 is just the biggest fucking willy waving attempt ever. And how did they get there? Did they all fucking walk? No, they didn't. They got on private planes, I would imagine, and flew there. All of them. And just think, they could have done this on Zoom call, and they could have broadcasted it. Imagine that, Zoom call. Boris Johnson could have been down the street. James Bond, Paddington Bear, the Wombles. He could have done that, and Macron could have gone, zut alors, and it would have been great. Everyone would have loved it, and Queenie would have come on. He said, "I've been staying up late watching the Celebrity Apprentice Australia. He should sack the bleeding lot of them." It's what a waste of time. What a waste of time. How so? Well, China and Russia ain't there for a start. Look, 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 look. Germany and France, not too long ago, as a response to I can never remember, was it Fukushima? It's in Japan. It's in Japan. Nuclear disaster. Responded by saying, we're not doing any more nuclear power. We're not going to do any nuclear power. You go, what are they going to do? Are they going to go solar? Is it going to be wind? Maybe wave? Maybe they're going to, invest in alternative energy sources? No, not going to build any more nuclear power stations, and they're going to decommission the one they've got, and they're going to accept a giant pipeline from Russia. Mr. Putin's got his finger on the control of, because gas, that's carbon friendly, isn't it? Despite what you think about nuclear power, it's a lot greener than you think. Yeah, we've got to get rid of the nuclear rods at the end of it, but hey, can't we just send them into space? We've all seen Superman 2. Nothing would go wrong if was it Superman 4? I can remember which one. Who's the one with Nuclear Man in? Superman 4, Quest for Peace. We just send them into space and everything will be fine. Elon Musk can do it. Or Jeff Bezos. They can do it together. And they can send all the nuclear waste into space at the sun, which is a great big ball of nuclear waste. Think about it. We'll just be adding to it all. So there's your hypocrisy there, and they're standing there with their big gas pipeline pumping out gas, and they've flown there. Now, old Greta was there, Greta Thunberg. I was only a bit critical when she was a girl because she was little, and I was worried she was being exploited. But now she's an adult. I think she's street legal now, so that means it's all right. I can take the mickey out of her. She was there saying, "Yeah, you bunch of bastards," something like that. I didn't really listen to what she said, but I'm sure she was very critical. But she's got a point because it's all talk and no do. And if we are doing anything, guess who's going to do it? It's going to be me and you. We're going to pay. We're going to pay for all this. We're going to have these heat pumps and solar panels and electric cars, and we're going to pay for it because it's an industry in itself. Now, really, it should be a heavily subsidised industry so that the poorest people can have access. We've had the ULEZ in the UK. It's in London. It's the ultra low emission zone. Dear old Mayor Khan, Star Trek 2 reference, brought it in the end of last month, October. It means that me and the missus, we can't. If we, this is how fucked up our world is, right? Our bank has closed. Our local bank has closed. If we want to deposit a cheque or cash, I've got to drive to Walthamstow, which is in that direction. Drive there. I suppose I could get on the tube, but it would take me about an hour and a half because there isn't a direct tube. Could get on the bus, but I don't want to get on the bus with all the plebs. But my point being is, if we go into Walthamstow, we'd be entering the ULEZ zone and we'd have to pay £12.50. It directly affects the poorest people. But Mayor Khan thinks this is fair. Now, while I agree we do need to get rid of all the cars, we should be taxing people who have more than one car per household. There should only be one car per household, and people who have more than one car should be, they should be paid double the tax. That's it. But ULEZ, we got that in because they want us to move to electric cars. But electric cars are prohibitively expensive, and if, like us, we live in a flat, how the hell are we going to charge them? People will be in fist fights trying to charge their car through the charge points around here because there are so many cars. It ain't funny. We've got one. We barely use it. It was a gift from the missus' parents when our car broke down, which I bought all those years ago to help us escape from Norfolk. But we don't use it. I walk everywhere. I haven't been on an airplane since 2007. If I did have any money, I wouldn't be going on a plane. We got a dog. I'd probably be holidaying locally. None of this affects me. But I can see how it can be fixed. But it won't ever be fixed because you need a global climate summit where people can. And the same people that want green, I'm green, believe in the EU, but they don't mind all these lorries, travelling around the EU when we could be doing it by freight train. More freight train, which is electric powered. Again, if we have more nuclear power, more alternative energy, more freight trains. In America, they have these ginormous freight trains that are miles long that take freight around the country. And that'd be more environmentally friendly. But yeah, look at them all standing there. Like a bunch of idiots. Bunch of plums, a lot of them. None of them wearing a mask. Hope they all get COVID. But yeah, what do you think? Anyway, we're not saving the world, we're saving humanity, because at the end of the day, the world will carry on. We're saving the world as we want it. It's been framed completely the wrong way. Humanity is a selfish, stupid, narrow-minded little race, and we think that somehow we're bigger than everything, and we're not. The world will just destroy it. We'll get wiped out. We'll be replaced, like the dinosaurs were replaced. Something else will come along, but the planet will carry on until the sun explodes, and that's that, or there's some giant cataclysmic cosmic event that I haven't accounted for. But yeah, and this is what we talk about. This is what we talk about, saving the world. And if we have electric cars, what do we do with the batteries? What we need to do is go back to horse and cart. Horse and cart, imagine that. Or we could get out and walk, like I do. Walk everywhere. Of course, I'm a hypocrite for doing this because I'm using electricity. I'm using electricity, the internet, carbon footprint. Are you fed up with all this guilt that's placed on your shoulders on a daily basis? You're guilty if you're a man, you're guilty if you're white, you're guilty if you desire a certain person because you don't fit in with a certain ideology. Guilt, 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 guilt. The politics of guilt all the time, 24/7. Do you feel guilty enough? Why don't you feel guilty? Why aren't you ashamed of who you are, all the decisions and the choices you've made? Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Again, it's the politics of guilt. Yeah, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's all business's fault. Business always wins, folks. Business always wins. But don't worry, everything will be fine. Now, I don't know if I'm actually, because it wouldn't let me into the studio part, so I don't know if anyone's on. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's watching. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, 10 people are watching, apparently. Let me go to the studio and I'll see if there's anyone in. There we go. Let me in here. Funny that. Oh, don't want that. Here we go. Who's up there? Payne's in. Says COP26 was such a success. Exactly. Environment is a gas. Brendan says it's all Stephen Wilson's fault. Have you seen all that plastic, all that PVC he's generating? It's shocking. Payne says we have a bus every 2 hours if we're lucky. Yesterday I wasn't lucky. Need to play the lottery, mate. Rob Payne says King Canute got his feet wet in vain. Nobody learned the lesson he was trying to teach. Exactly. He was trying to prove to people that he couldn't stop the tide. People have always misconstrued the legend that he was trying to stop the tide. No, he wasn't. He was showing people that you couldn't. Oh dear. Angelo says, do you support a football club? I'm going to refer back to an old joke I used to say when I was a child. Somebody said to me, do you like football? I say, no, I support Leyton Orient. It's a very old joke. Leyton Orient is my team of birth because that's where I grew up. But I know because they weren't very good back in the 70s and 80s, I'd switched allegiance to Tottenham because they used to win things. But I don't really care for football. Why would I care? It's full of overpaid arseholes. Who cares? It's not interesting. Women's football's interesting, like women's tennis, but I don't really care. Support England when we play. I like the international game, but no, I'm not a football supporter. Payne says, I like the environment advert where the kid says, don't ask me, I'm only 6. He's my favourite. He's my hero. I want his face on a T-shirt because he's got it exactly. It's like, why asking me? I don't care. You fix it. You think the scientists would have come up with something, would have fixed it by now. I'm sure there's a machine that can turn carbon dioxide into oxygen. Oh, wait a minute. They're called trees. You know, we cut down something like 90% of the forests in the UK. We were a land full of forest. And then we cut it all down. Vorna says, morning. You're everywhere. So-called COP is 26, a political comedy, no more, no less. Yeah, well, Daddy's got to pay for his teeth, so Daddy's making videos. That's because I'm feeling a bit more with it now. So that's good. That's good, I think. And yeah, that's that. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been requested by Hans Christian Hansen, whatever his name is. I can never remember his name. He's got too many names. Because he said do something about COP6, but it's like, yeah, what's there to talk about? It's just a bunch of stupid politicos all patting each other on the back, you know. That's it. If you want to change the world, give up your car. Don't go on holiday 3 times a year on a plane. You know, walk. Yeah, reduce your meat intake, but not greatly. You know, just maybe only have it once a day. Candles, 4 candles. I don't know. I ain't got a plan. But I've always been of the mind that every roof in the country should be solar powered. There should be a solar panel on it. And I'm sure they can make solar panels now that they look like roof. They're more camouflaged, suit their environment. I've been of the mind that every house by law should have a solar panel, and all that should go into the grid. And that should be a thing because the technology has evolved. And again, that shouldn't even be paid for by the homeowner. It should be, again, we should nationalise the utilities, and the electric companies should do this. And it should, we should kind of lease out our roofs to them, and that money goes into the grid, and any extra money goes to us. what a wonderful world it would be. Don't know much about COP26. Don't know much about something else. I'm running out of steam here, mate. I'm running out of steam. But yeah, there are so many ways we can solve these problems. You know, when I was a lad, our straws were made of paper. They are. They are now. The paper straws are back. I'm so happy. You don't know how happy that makes me. I was never happy with plastic straws. We had bottles made of glass, which you could recycle. Or if they get broken, you could scoop up and recycle. But there was, again, in the 80s, there was this great big push towards plastic. Where does that come from? It comes from the plastic manufacturers. That's who. I went to a place. I won't name it, but they make plastic packaging. It was with part of Mrs.'s job. We went there, and they do the bags for the inner bags for cornflakes. You know, in the old days that used to be like wax paper. If I'm remembering it correctly, I may be wrong, but it was paper. They were paper bags once. It was kind of wax paper, and now it's plastic. It's this very thin kind of plastic. And we have that in close contact with the food that we eat, which has always concerned me. But I asked him, I said, is there any benefit for this? Does it keep the cornflakes or cereal into favourite cereal? Does it keep them any fresher than it just being in the box? And he went, between you and me, it makes no difference. No difference whatsoever. And I asked that question back in 2003, and that's what we're up against, because I was interested. I thought we might, preserve the life of the cereal, but again, you could just have it on the inside of the box, and that's that. But we're obsessed with, again, it's all about having stuff on shelves and the manufacturing process and blah de blah de blah. We've all got it wrong, man. It's all wrong, and it's not up to us to fix it. That's the thing. And they put this burden of guilt onto people like you and me. And it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I didn't do this. Too much consumerism, too much choice. Again, it's the same people that want to save the world moan that, oh man, our economic growth has stalled because of Brexit. And you go, you can't have continued economic growth because we live on a finite planet of finite resources. We need to figure out a different way where we don't look at growth as a means of determining wealth. You have Gordon Brown going, the 1% loss in growth will mean that the poor will be poorer. No, it means that the rich will be poorer because it doesn't affect the poor. But that's the myth that they peddle. Because if you've got nothing, you've got nothing. Can't take away nothing, But it's the rich that worry about it because they're the ones that are profiting, And these people, they've fallen for it. They've fallen for the idea of continued growth, and that the EU being wonderful, it's a capitalist endeavour. It's this is the reason why there are lorries all over Europe, blah, 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 rather than it being done by freight, blah, 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 blah. Oh, we're going to make everything green. Okay, we'll get an electric lorry to travel from one side of Europe to the other and see how far it gets, eh? How much electricity would it take to shift a load from, France to, to Eastern Europe? How many stops would it take? Oh, I don't know. I think, again, it's also about population as well. A lot of this is down to population growth. And it's even more frightening now that, China's reduced its requirement for, one child requirement. And again, more people you have, more consumption, more waste. That's it. And that's another thing we really should be talking about, is how to reduce the population. How about a nice virus? Virus should do it. Or a war. World War One, Part 2. But we don't talk in those terms. We just talk about, well, I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. But it's all our fault and we're going to pay for it. Just remember that. Thanks for watching. Potatoes used to be in thick paper sacks. That's right. That's how we used to buy them from the market, and we used to put our rubbish in a paper sack and put it out for the bin man. Not an ounce of plastic. Oh, it's like spaghetti, right? We buy spaghetti because I do spaghetti, and it comes in a paper. It comes in a cardboard box now. It has spaghetti written on it. I know what's inside the box, but there's a little plastic window, which means I can't put it in the recycling because it's plastic. But they insist that I need to see the spaghetti inside the box. It's like if I buy some donuts at Sainsbury's, they'll have a little window, a plastic window, so I can see the donuts inside. You go into bakers in the old days, say, can I have a donut? They get the donut. You might not even be looking. You might be looking over there. You get a jam donut. They put it in a bag, paper bag, wrap it, and give it to you. You didn't say to them, can you make a little window in it so I definitely know that there's a donut inside? And Robert Payne's going to not fall asleep tonight. He's going to watch. Well, I'll see if I see you. Don't worry if you fall asleep, you know. I've said it as a thing so you can catch it. So I'm going to toddle off now because I've got some Queen videos to make. And I'll do this, well, maybe I'll do it again, I don't know. If I get, I don't know, 10 thumbs downs, I'll do another coffee time. And with that, there's only one more thing left to say, and that is thanks for watching, and keep it green.